Welcome back to the Queer Gossip Podcast, episode 43. We are going to be reviewing a very important, complex film. I
Oh yeah.
saw the TV Glow. Um, but before we get into it, we're going to have a catch up because it hasn't been that long. It's been about, um, it's been about 3 days or so since we
Yeah,
last,
well, we didn't have a catch up
yeah,
then, though.
yeah. Um, so yeah, how's it been?
It's been good. It's been actually great. I've been uh having a good time. I had so much fucking fun, like on Monday. I don't know if that was noticeable, but I think it kind of is. I've full disclosure, I've rewatched that like an embarrassing amount of times. Um, because I'm like, I don't know. I'm kind of proud because I did what I said that like you should do and like not uh treat it like properly as a debate instead. Because that's what I've been, because I was kind of like feeling because I've always said like you shouldn't treat this like a debate. And then I go and have a debate about
Yeah.
it. But I think I balanced like the series like actually treating it like a debate stuff with the uh not so taking it serious kind of thing. And also me saying, no, you can barely can I her saying, can I get to my point? And me answering with, no, you can barely do that when I'm not interrupting you is actually one of the funniest things I've ever said.
Yeah.
As well as, yes, I do mind actually, you're fucking worthless. I don't know. I think those are kind of, yeah, I had fun with those. But in regards to otherwise, it's been a good week. I've gotten a new enemy at work because someone decided to yell at me in front of the students. So now I've decided to make her life actual fucking hell. Uh, I don't know why they do this. Why did it force me into this? Why would you? She's a person who really knows me well as well. Like, and she knows like my weird thing with if I feel slighted against, I will not no longer care if I win as long as I make you lose.
Yeah.
Uh, which is a fucking dangerous thing to do. To be like, why do you kick a hornet's nest?
I don't know.
And so that's been fun. Uh, because what I did when she did that was I yelled at her back and told her to never be that fucking impolite to me again. Or not like impolite, just cunty. And so she wrote that up, and now it's a whole process. I haven't. I feel so bad for the HR at my school.
Yeah.
Like they have to deal with so much of my shit. But this time it's not actually my fault. So like, yeah, fuck it. I'm in the complete right here as well. Like that's what should scare her because I win when I'm in the wrong.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
That's the thing. That's the thing. I mean, I understand that it's their policy. You have to obviously do written email or paper and send it in.
yeah,
I understand that, but it's wasted. But at the end of the day, it's wasted resources.
yeah, and like for me, it's because I never want to write anything up. I just want to deal with the like personally with the
Yeah.
person. Because like that's I don't know. I believe that's the correct way to go about it, and also it's the not coward way to go about it. But I've been, but then I like when she did it, I kind of had to because what she did that caused me to yell at her was so much fucking worse. Um, and that kind of like, but now you have forced me to. you forced my hand into actually doing this, into actually filing this fucking report, you dipshit. Like, I would wished I wouldn't, but and the thing is that I am so in the right here because all of the things that I do are reactions to things that she's done, but worse. And also, when the students asked me why I was angry, because I was noticeably angry when I found out about that, and when they asked me about that, I told them that it was a issue with a colleague, and I told them not to pry. I told them not to like be involved in it, and that they should just let it be because I'm dealing with it. When someone did that to her, she sold me the fuck out. I've actually
Yeah,
acted like a mature person. She
yeah.
can't
It's
win
like
against this.
yeah, it's like
This is entered into a fucking nightmare.
yeah, yeah. It's like I've interacted with people like that before, and
Yeah,
it's almost as if they want to back you in the corner. They want to put you
yeah,
in the lion's den,
yeah.
even though they know how you might react, but they still do it
And,
anyway. It's like,
and
what's
she's
the point?
seen me go scorched earth on so many people as well. Like
Yeah,
but so yeah, I'm having fun now actually. I found out today that she's been fucking back talking me as well. Yeah, you just like, what the fuck is wrong with you? But uh, yeah, so that's been an interesting. I was genuinely so fucking furious when I found out though. Like um I went out to have a smoke and like I dragged a colleague with me. Like we're going out smoking. You're following. You're coming with me. He doesn't smoke, but but I was so fucking furious, and he saw that, and he said afterwards like, yeah, I don't think anyone here has actually seen you angry before. Um, because I don't get angry that often, like actually genuinely furious. And when I do, it doesn't tend to end well. Uh, for the other people, not for me. Like I don't know
yeah,
how I get away from it. But that's the thing about me. I have no issue with owning my shit either. So when I filed my report, I knew what she had said in hers. I knew what she reacted to, but I also know that probably didn't have the backstory. So I just owned everything that I did that I actually thought was wrong. Like I yelled at her in front of students after she had done it to me. But yeah, I did that, and that was wrong of me. I was very angry, and I say that in my report as well.
yeah,
So I own, I own every single shit that I do. But there's so much, yeah. So that's been fun. But yesterday I spent the night, not the night, like the evening, at my boyfriend's, and I hung out with his kid while he was at a like he had a web seminar for the course he's taking, uh, which is English literature, and I just hung out with his kid until like he was done with that, and it was uh, genuinely like the coolest 2 hours of my life because I've never done that before. Like I've never been like I've never had a like child in my life that I get to help with like,
yeah,
and that it's been fucking awesome. And she's the best. Uh, but yeah, that's been my week. It's been fucking great actually. And also the like debate on Monday, like Jesus
yeah,
fucking Christ. It's been a long week, but not a bad week, is kind of my way of describing it because it's really fucking uh it feels like it's been ages. Like even since Monday, it feels like it's been fucking weeks since then because so much has happened. But not in a bad way. Like I'm not tired like I was constantly during summer and like after over that. Like I've realized I've been in such a bad place for the last like half year or something.
yeah,
And I'm not anymore. And that feels so fucking. So yeah, how's your week
yeah.
been?
It's been yeah, like um during that debate, I didn't have to do much, um,
Yeah,
which felt kind of nice for a change.
yeah.
Um,
I was, yeah, I was actually, I came prepared for, like,
yeah,
poorly prepared for a debate. I'm going to be fucking honest.
yeah,
Um, my notes. Um, I think I have them still lying here somewhere. Like it's my notes were on one half page
Yeah,
of like a notebook that I had torn out, but I remembered a lot of shit in my head from
yeah.
reading. And also I
But
didn't get to all my points though.
no,
We just kind of got stuck on the thing. But
yeah,
yeah, it was fun. Sorry.
yeah. That's right. Yeah. So that was fun. I chimed in once or
Yeah.
twice, maybe three
Yeah.
times, I think. Just to,
Yeah, I think
just
it
to
actually was three times exactly.
yeah, just to push back, just to with Mary
Yeah.
on what she said. But overall, it then
Yeah.
as well as expected.
My
Um,
favorite moment is also when she said the one about like you're just coming with the same rhetoric as they use. And I'm like, no, I'm not. The literal fucking example that you say right now, like the whole 101, 117, or whatever it was. Like, I haven't said that
yeah,
because I didn't read anybody else's like opinions on this report. I just read it myself.
yeah. I think that's.
Like,
I think yeah. I think that's one of. I think that's one of the downfalls that with Mary is that I think she reads a lot of what other people have said, and
yeah,
then she interprets that,
yeah,
and then uses it as her like defense or
yeah,
evidence.
which is
And
like
it's
bad
like,
thing when you do it to me, who
yeah,
stays the fuck out of this kind of shit.
yeah, and like that's fine. Like that's totally fine. You can read what other people have said, absolutely.
Yeah,
But if you're gonna cl- go around claiming what you claim, uh, then at least have your own narrative. Don't use
yeah,
other people's work.
no.
But yeah, if you have missed that debate, by the way, then do go back and watch it.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
you know, do have an open mind, obviously. Don't be a complete dick in the comments, but but yeah, you might learn
Yeah.
something, you might not. But yeah,
Or it might just be fun.
yeah,
Like it's like if it's just entertaining, that's good.
yeah. I
Uh
also love the fact that Mary used that trope again. She started claiming that because obviously you are. I would
yeah.
say you when you're passionate about something and something means a lot to you, you can be aggressive. But I love how
Oh yeah,
she
yeah. I'm aggressive as shit.
twisted that into you being angry. Like you're not angry.
Yeah. And I'm like, I think it's noticeable that I'm not angry because like the second that she drops the whole anger bit, I go back to being calm. And yeah, I get worked up, but I
Yeah,
do like talking about everything.
yeah,
Me and boyfriend, because he's very sensitive to sound, has like genuinely where he just has to say like lower the volume to me, and I go like because I am that like I am a very
yeah,
excitable person. Like
yeah.
that's and I get why people would think, but like I I I didn't even go that mean with her. Like I called her a fucking moron, which is like I
Yeah,
I call that to people I like. What
yeah.
in an argument? Like no, no, no. I think it's good of I think I did well in never ceding any ground to her.
Oh yeah,
Like she didn't get a single fucking affirmation from me. It was constantly just like why or no. Like
yeah,
um because I know
yeah,
that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to find like common ground, and like
yeah,
no, fuck that. Um, which is also why I did like I think she misheard me at one point because I say tautological, but I think she thought it meant logical, which is why I have the like I don't know if you saw my edits of it, but there's a bit where it just comes up, Mary, you fucking clown. And I explained the like definition of the word tautological with circus music playing in the background.
yeah,
And it's the most childish I think I've ever been, but it's also the funniest.
yeah,
But yeah,
yeah.
um, yeah, I'm
Yeah.
sorry. Yeah,
So, um, so yeah. In short, go watch that episode, or in fact, watch our previous episodes because yeah. But
yeah,
let's get into it. So the film. So I watched it. When did
Mm.
I watch it? And I think I watched it either last night or the night before. Um, and yeah, so as usual, I
Yeah.
will go through what I put, and then we'll see what Max thought. So
Yeah. And I will, as usually, be putting on my makeup. It seems to be like a trend the last few episodes because I'm so fucking shit at time.
yeah, so Jane Schoenbrun's I Saw the TV Grow is a mesmerizing and thought-provoking exploration of identity, loss, and the power of nostalgia. Set against the backdrop of a late-night television show, the film delves into the complexities of growing up and finding one's place in the world. The film follows Owen, a young man haunted by memories of a mysterious childhood television program, as he grapples with his own identity and the pressures of societal expectations. Owen becomes increasingly drawn into the world of the show, blurring the lines between reality and fantasy. The performance Glow is a visually stunning film with stunning cinematography and a haunting score. The performances are exceptional, with Justice Smith delivering a particularly powerful portrayal of Owen's internal struggle.
Yeah.
While the film's pacing may be slow for some viewers, its deliberate approach allows for a deep exploration of its themes. The ending is both haunting and hopeful, leaving a lasting impression long after the credits rolled. Right, so now we go into the trans allegory. That
Yeah.
is a running theme.
Oh yeah.
A trans
There are actually some
allegory,
people who say that it's not, which is fucking absurd.
yeah, a trans allegory in I Saw the TV Glow. Jane Cernbrun's I Saw the TV Glow is a poignant exploration of identity, loss, and belonging, often interpreted as a trans allegory. The film's narrative, set against the backdrop of a late-night television show, mirrors the experiences of many transgender individuals who feel disconnected from their assigned gender and yearn for a sense of belonging. So, if we look at the key themes and parallels, gender dysphoria. Owen, the protagonist, experiences a profound disconnect between his assigned gender and his internal identity. This echoes the experiences of transgender individuals who often feel a sense of unease or discomfort with their bodies. The search for belonging. Owen's quest to understand the mysterious television program mirrors the search for community and acceptance that many transgender individuals undertake. The show becomes a symbol of a place where he can feel truly seen and understood. Nostalgia and loss. The film's exploration of nostalgia and loss can be interpreted as a metaphor for the grief associated with transitioning. Many transgender individuals experience a sense of mourning for the life they had before coming out. Power of imagination. The television show, which is called the Opaque,
Mm.
serves as a powerful tool for Owen to escape from the constraints of reality and create a world where he feels more comfortable and accepted. This reflects the importance of imagination and creativity for many transgender individuals and as they navigate their identities. Now let's go on to um, Maddie's role in I Saw the TV Grow. Maddie, played by Brianna Baker, serves as a pivotal character in I Saw the TV Grow. She is Owen's childhood friend and a source of comfort and support as he navigates his complex emotion and identity crisis. Key aspects of Maddie's role: childhood connection. Maddie and Owen share a deep bond rooted in their childhood. experiences. This connection provides a sense of stability and familiarity for Owen, especially as he grapples with the mysteries of the television show and his own identity. Empathetic listener. Maddie is a patient and understanding listener. She offers a safe space for Owen to express his thoughts and feelings without judgment. Her empathy and support are essential to Owen's emotional well-being. Catalyst for change. Maddie plays a crucial role in encouraging Owen to confront his fears and take steps towards self-discovery. Her unwavering belief in him helps him find the courage to explore the depths of his own identity. Symbol of hope. Maddie represents hope and resilience, reminding Owen that there is light at the end of the tunnel. Her presence in his life offers a glimmer of optimism amidst the darkness and uncertainty. Maddie's role is essential to the film's exploration of identity, loss, and belonging. Her friendship with Owen provides a much-needed anchor amidst the chaos and confusion that surrounds him. Now, here's a critique of the allegory. While I Saw the TV Glow offers a nuanced exploration of identity and belonging, some critics argue that the film's trans allegory is overly simplistic. They contend that the film's focus on nostalgia and loss overlooks the unique challenges faced by transgender individuals in a world that is often hostile and unaccepting. Despite these criticisms, I Saw the TV Glow remains a powerful and thought-provoking film that resonates with many viewers, particularly those who have experienced similar feelings of alienation and disconnection. The film's exploration of identity and belonging is both timely and relevant, and its use of the trans allegory offers a fresh perspective on these complex issues. Now, let's go on to Jane Schoenbrun, who uh, you may not know, Max might know, but she's trans.
Yeah.
And she's the filmmaker. So
And
Jane,
what a filmmaker she is.
yeah, Jane Schoenbrun exploration of trans allegory in I Saw the TV Glow is a deeply personal and introspective exploration of identity, loss, and belonging. While the film is not explicitly labeled as a trans allegory, its themes and imagery resonate strongly with many trans individuals. Schoenbrun's personal connection. The film's exploration of trans allegory stems from Schoenbrun's own experiences as a transgender woman. In interviews, she has discussed how her personal journey influenced the development of the film's narrative. The protagonist, Owen, reflects Schoenbrun's own struggles with identity and belonging. Themes of identity and loss delves into the complexities of identity formation and the loss associated with transitioning. The film's exploration of nostalgia and the power of imagination can be seen as metaphors for the grief and longing that many trans individuals experience. A desire for representation. Schoenbrun's decision to explore trans allegory through a more subtle and nuanced approach reflects her desire to create a film that resonates with a wider audience while still addressing the unique challenges faced by trans individuals. A call for empathy and understanding. By using a trans allegory, Schoenbrun aims to foster empathy and understanding for transgender individuals. The film's exploration of identity belonging invites viewers to consider the experiences of others who may not conform to societal expectations. A powerful and personal exploration. I Saw the TV Glow is a powerful and personal exploration of identity, loss, and belonging, among other themes, through its, through its exploration of trans allegory. The film offers a unique and thought-provoking perspective on these complex issues, and I and I thoroughly enjoyed watching this film, and this film will be going into my movie list for definitely, as it will be something that I will probably watch over and over again.
Yeah,
But yeah,
nice.
that is my review. Obviously, I mean, obviously Max may have more input, obviously, um, with what she thought. But yeah,
I have a few. I have a few thoughts.
yeah, but
Um,
yeah,
uh, yeah. So first thing, this film is fucking heavy at times.
yeah,
This is a panic attack uh film shot in this film. That is genuinely the only piece of film that doesn't involve spiders that I've had to skip first time watching it.
yeah,
When he first like starts to when like reality starts crumbling for him, and he just shouts, "You're like the whole 'you're not my father' thing." Uh, that's the worst thing I've ever seen on film. Like hardest to watch, just like pure pain, pure fucking pain. And a lot of this film is kind of pure pain in a weird, silent, and extremely oppressive way. Like it's the uh, this is the cinematic equivalence of depression at
yeah,
times. The whole like how depression doesn't make you feel sad, it makes you numb. Like that's here. Like and the constant breathing and like his constant asthma thing and like it's genuinely uncomfortable to watch at times. And then there are these weird, intense moments of sweetness that just hurts even more when you see that it doesn't really work. Um, I if I hadn't this is I tend to have a hard time with media that is just like this works purely as a art, not media. With art, and it's like this works purely as a metaphor. It doesn't work as a story. It's just a metaphor. I think that's kind of usually a bad way to write a narrative, and I would argue that this is one of those. Like this, that's why I find like the trans allegory like so. It's so weird that some people say that it's not there because it's like integral to it. Like I don't know what you see in this film if you don't see it as an allegory, at least for mental health and like isolation.
yeah,
I do not understand what you would get out of this film if you don't, but it works because it's so fucking well done. Um, and also because of the conceit being so fucking absurd, I think. Because as usual, I am going to have spoilers to talk about like the things that I like. So if you haven't seen it, just shut the fuck down right now and watch it instead,
yeah.
and then go come back. But I'll give you 5 seconds. Our hero is currently being buried alive.
Yeah,
Uh, yeah, because like this, Mr. God damn it, it's Mr. This is Mr. No, it's now I don't remember what his name is. Mr. Midnight? No,
Mr. Melancholy.
Mr. Melancholy. Yeah, that's right. Mr. Melancholy, the big bad of the show, The Pink Opaque, has at the final in the final episode we find out of The Pink Opaque, the two heroes are buried alive,
Yeah.
and then it just ends, which is a it's a really really fucking uh intense way of placing us in danger because at that point it's the same point where we kind of figure out that Owen and Maddie are actually the heroes of the Pick of Pike,
Yeah.
but placed in an alternate reality while they are dying, which is where the breathing comes from as well. Like he can't breathe because he's currently a girl who's on the ground dying. Because the Pink Opaque is a hero show. It's a sort of Buffy-esque show actually, because and I say Buffy-esque because they use the font from Buffy in it. About two girls who have a magic connection and then they fight a psychic connection and then they fight like bad guys working for Mr. Melancholy, who in the final episode kidnaps them, places them, and then tells them that places them in buried underground, and then tells them that they will not be able to remember the. Uh, they won't even remember that they're dying,
Yeah.
and I did not expect that to be like where the film went. Honestly, I didn't expect it to be because like this is, and that's why it also it's clearly Buffy inspired because that's an episode of Buffy, like her waking up in the real world, thinking that she's all this thing is just illusion, and like that's an episode of Buffy, and I like it. It's like it takes that but plays it from the other end. Like we never get to see them as the Pink Opaque. We never get to. We don't know that that's what's happening in the beginning. And what's so brilliant about it is because it's just about like the entire film takes place over like an entire lifetime of Owen's life, but in then the Pink Opaque timeline, it takes place over a couple of minutes after dying, buried alive. And we find that out this at the same time as I had been thinking time moves so fucking weirdly in this film. Like I was like just before she said that was what's going on, I thought about like how everything was just skipping. Like we skip over 10 years in the blink of
Yeah.
an eye. And then they say like time is moving wrong. And I was like, oh fuck you. Fuck you for doing that.
Yeah.
Uh that was perfect placement of a reveal because it was like the second it started annoying me that it was doing it, and I thought it was kind of I didn't like the beginning of this movie at first because I just because of that thing, because of like how it just skipped. It just skipped us into the future and didn't really tell us and didn't tell us where, and it was disorienting and it was hard to track. And I was like, oh yeah, but that's how it's supposed to feel. And that's the thing, like going, living, I could living under that kind of like weird mask thing, like in a sort of second life. If we're going to the trans allegory right now, it makes time feel kind of disorienting looking back at it. I've actually like the weird thing is that me coming out as trans at the time that I had my stroke is kind of weird because the stroke killed my sense of time. I don't have it anymore. I was extremely punctual before, which anyone who tries to like plan shit with me knows that I am not anymore. Like for example, you who have to wait for me every fucking week.
Yeah.
Which is yeah, I know it, but like that's the thing. Like
Yeah.
that's one of the reasons that I because I can't feel the flow of time. Uh, I don't know how 5 minutes feels like anymore, but I used to. But still, if I'm taking it moment by moment, things blur together before I came out. Like it was more like living in a dream-like haze. I can't really say what order things happen in. It was weird. And I just thought that was existent. But it kind of turns out that it's not. You can actually like have strong memories. Uh, and also the fact that the film is purely about how hard it is and how much the decision feels like dying. Because in order for them to wake up in the real world, then if we're going by the pink opaque being the real world, which
Yeah.
I absolutely am, in order to wake up in the real world, they had to bury themselves alive. And that's what Maddie's done. And she's been gone for a few minutes, just not because she just disappeared after,
Yeah.
like, she disappears at the same time that the Pink Opaque apparently ends. Is cancelled with that fucking nightmare of an episode. And as she comes back, when she comes back, it's been a decade that she's been gone. But then we find out that she's only been gone for a few minutes. For in her, like in reality. Uh, and what she did then was she lived for years, and years was just flashing by, and she thought it was weird how this happened, and then she realized what was actually happening, and then she paid someone to bury her alive, and we get to hear one of the most harrowing depictions of slowly over what must have been years for her in that coffin, and slowly dying while shitting herself and pissing herself and suffocating and like, uh, and that's what he has to go through
Yeah.
in order to wake up outside. And that's what it feels like. Like that's the thing. That's why people don't do it. You kill someone. You kill the one who you've been. And it's like that is a weird aspect of transitioning that is like not really spoken about that much. Like it's been among trans people, but I don't see that as like, and I think that's because people don't want to say like, oh, a part of you died. It's kind of weird thing.
Yeah.
But for example, I conceptualize it as me dying in that stroke and then me being born there. Like
Yeah.
it's weird. But there is a conceptualizing when I think like dead men died in that ambulance, and that's kind of how I have to conceptualize it because otherwise it's weird. And like when I have come out to some people, like for example, my ex-girlfriend who is now my best friend, she was in mourning after I came out, and like I understand that. It's not because she's a bad person. It's not because like she reacted wrong. She's been extremely supportive of me, but it's been very hard for her because someone she saw as like her best friend and her that like her lover wasn't the one she thought he was then, and that in fact he would never come back. That person that she had known was gone, and there was another person there who was the same, but it took time to understand it, and
Yeah. And
that's like,
yeah, like
and so
when I watched that scene,
yeah,
um, because going on from what you just said, it's like
yeah,
it's I don't want to say again this is like a kind of a trope, but I don't want to say like
yeah.
reborn or rebirth because you've always been
Yeah, well,
that
it
person.
is
Yeah,
kind
because
of.
but the thing is, what people don't seem to understand, especially those who struggle to understand what it means to be trans, you've always been that
Mm,
person. Unfortunately,
yeah,
obviously with obviously you suffered a stroke and then
yeah,
you eventually came out. Sometimes it takes certain events, but
yeah.
you've always been that person. It's just that for
Oh yeah,
whatever reason, you've kept it, you've remained in the closet.
yeah,
Right, so it's like a rebirth, right? What if you want to say that? But you've always been that person. But it sometimes takes
yeah,
years and even like events that bring it out of you.
yeah.
And so,
I had to,
yeah,
I had to reach that point because
yeah,
because I thought I was going to die in the ambulance. I genuinely did. I was certain, like, and I was cool. I wasn't scared, and which is weird because I've been scared of death since I was 6. Like my entire life has been like terrified of dying because I can't conceptualize not existing. But I wasn't. Like at the time that I actually thought that I was dying, I wasn't afraid. I was cool and I was okay with it because I looked back at my life and I thought it's been fucking fantastic. I've been great. I lived it exactly as I should have. I have no regrets except for one thing. and something being your only regret at the end, end of your
yeah,
life, it's kind of like it's hard to not then go through with it. So when I was in the hospital afterwards, I decided like, yeah, I need to do this now. I There is no other choice for me.
yeah. And
Uh,
those
but it
critics,
took that. I had to come to that because I had
yeah,
decided like decades before that that I'm never going to come out. I'm never
yeah,
going to actualize. So
yeah. And if you have seen this film or you haven't, then I highly recommend you see it
mm,
because because it's a unique perspective, a
yeah,
unique perspective from a trans woman, right, who is
yeah,
also a filmmaker. So you know,
yeah.
because
It's like
and
that's not common.
no, it's not, and you may find that scene like horrifying, but think of it from the perspective of a rebirth. You are reborn, essentially.
Yeah,
Even
yeah,
though you've always been that person, but that's a metaphor.
yeah. And like,
If you look at the Matrix,
that's nice.
right, trans allegory in that,
Oh yeah, it absolutely is. Like that's
right. So there is
the
other
an
films
accurate
that
one as
have
well.
this same allegory in there. But yeah,
Oh
the
yeah, absolutely. And like this, I've never seen it done this because even in the Matrix, like it's not conceptualized as death. It's them waking up and stuff like that. In this one,
yeah
they talk about it like dying. Um,
yeah
and I find that kind of important because that is like it isn't what it is, but it is what it feels like, and it feels horrifying, and it feels like what you're doing is like, why am I doing this? Why the fuck am I putting myself through this? Why do I have? Why do I change like? And it's why don't I just keep going? And that's what like that's why the scene on the football field when he just beats her down and runs away. That's like one of the most real things I've ever seen in a film because, like, yeah, that's how I reacted for 30 years. I just actively chose not to. And that being like, yeah, it was horrifying.
yeah
It was horrifying to see because he should like, but I understand it. And it's I do not view the ending as hopeful as some people seem to do. I do not think that he's um, going to wake up. Unfortunately. But it has some hints against that. But I am uh but I am hoping, like I genuinely do, because I love these characters. But it's a very like it is a horror film, but it's horrifying in a way that like most horror films aren't.
yeah
It's horrifying in a way more real way because like despite the premise being absolutely fucking absurd, it never feels like it. Never,
no
never. Even when we have like the weird fucking moonhead monster guy who
yeah
speaks in like a it wasn't a child's voice. It's he speaks in like a weird fucking way,
yeah
like in a weird voice with a weird. It should be funny, but it's not. It's never funny. Like nothing
no
in this fucking film is funny.
yeah. It's like the thing is,
Uh,
because obviously critics being critics will always have a problem with films like this.
actually, yeah, I have
I
something to say about that one as well.
uh, I never had a problem with the film's pacing. I mean, I didn't like the jump.
Yeah, like that
The
was the
Ted, yeah,
only
I didn't
problem that
like
I
that
had. But
part,
it
but
being slow, I just genuinely don't agree with that.
yeah, it was the
It's
right
not a
pace.
slow
It
film.
was,
Like
yeah,
it's a quiet film.
yeah, yeah,
Like I
exactly.
think. I would say that, like, I don't know if you've seen it. Like, we're all going to the World Fair. The first Jane, I don't know how you pronounce her last name. Uh, like the first film she made. If you haven't,
No,
I
but
recommend
I
it. It's
will.
fucking
Yeah,
phenomenal. It's also on Max, I think. Like, not on me, on the streaming service.
yeah,
Uh, they spell the names entirely with capitals. I spell my names with no capitals because I'm fucking insane.
yeah,
But but I'm uh, but yeah, it's not like I would argue that that's a much slower burn than this one. This gets kind of straight to the point, and
yeah,
the whole like jumpiness makes it not feel slow because all of a sudden you're 10 years later. Like it feels it feels extremely fast paced, almost at sometimes weirdly fast paced. But that's supposed to be like that was my problem at the beginning was that they couldn't get a hold of like the characters.
yeah,
Also, I just love VHS. Like, oh my fucking god. I love VHS. That's like this motherfucker here, my little VHS camera.
yeah,
I'm shooting my shit on VHS. That's how much I
yeah.
love them.
Yeah. So yeah, so I entirely disagree with the film's pacing.
Yeah. Yeah.
I also have to mention that I think Justice Smith's performance in this was brilliant. The way he
Oh
played
yeah.
Orin
Oh,
is
he is that's one of the most true characters I've ever seen. Like
yeah,
that's a person like it uh the way he mumbles
yeah,
everything. It's like yeah.
yeah,
Um
um,
and like the way he sort of everything he says it's never a question really, but it's like everything he says is like it sounds like he's saying I'm sorry, whatever he says.
yeah,
Like he's constantly like asking for forgiveness without saying it. It's absolutely fucking fantastic. One thing that I don't agree with that you said, like the critics had said, was the whole like it shows a simplified version of like
yeah.
where it
Yeah,
doesn't show like how harsh people trans people are being shown. This film is literally about them dying.
yeah. What a critics, I made a note
Like
saying,
Mr. Melancholy is that.
yeah,
He is that he's that like
yeah. In my review, where it said
yeah,
critics, they think that this was oversimplistic.
yeah. I
And it's
would
like,
argue that point because
what have you been
I would
watching?
argue against that point because I do not agree with.
Yeah, neither do
Uh,
I.
no, like it's not um maybe convoluted. I would agree with, but simplistic, no. Uh, I think it's what it is. It's clear, like it's a clear allegory. It's a very clear allegory, especially then like done by the brilliance of having like the Pink Opaque are both like both of them are girls, and then having Owen be a guy, just that's the level of clarity we're running with. And like to some, clarity is simplistic. To me, it's definitely not. Clarity is good in a metaphor as well. Actually, I mean, I want metaphors to be like, and this is the most one-to-one metaphor I've ever seen. Like metaphors aren't one-to-one. That's a point. That's why they're a metaphor. Like you don't. It doesn't have to be an exact translation.
Yeah,
But this pretty much is. This is just a like one-to-one translation of being trans into film, and then make it more horrifying. Um, the happy birthday scene
yeah,
is another one of those like it ended just when I had to like skip. I was reaching for the fucking arrow button on my computer, just like okay, I'm done now with this scene.
yeah,
But then
yeah,
it just ended at that very moment, and I was like, because that was harrowing. And uh, what this film feels like. It's like it feels like remembering a trauma. Like
Yeah,
that's the feel of this film. You're remembering a trauma that's not yours,
yeah.
and it it gets my highest recommendation. I even if you didn't watch it before, there's like, dude, please, goddamn, watch it. I know I spoiled the shit out of it, but like I don't care. Go watch it. Like
Yeah, I will
it's
be
fucking great. I don't care. And how the fuck this film has a 5.8 on IMDb? Like I don't know. But all
yeah.
of my favorite films have like 5 point something on IMDb because IMDb's users are fucking shit.
Yeah,
I once got
when, yeah,
I once got
whenever
suspended for my
yeah, whenever I watch a film, like whenever I watch a film or I hear of a film, one, I don't go by IMDb,
no, me
because
neither.
right, okay,
I used to when I was a kid, but like
yeah,
no longer.
but I will be recommending this film to my friends,
Yeah,
because I'm interested to see what they get out of it. But I want to give I think I think Ian Foreman, who the little kid, the 14-year-old who played Owen,
yeah.
like he he played,
They seem like the same person,
yeah, brilliant,
which was absolutely fucking great.
yeah,
I also loved how
uh,
they did that, like young Owen, but then it was just the same Owen as it's like an
yeah,
old man as well. Like
we
that
had,
old man Owen is the best.
yeah, we had Bridget Lundy Payne, who played Maddie, um
Yeah,
Emma Portner, um Helena Howard, who played Isabel.
yeah,
Yeah, like all the cast, like even though this film only centered on Orin and
Owen and
Buddy,
Maddie. Yeah,
the whole cast played its part really well.
yeah.
Really
Like
well.
most other cast members, like most other are only in like one scene
Yeah,
each. And like that's by design. That's to
yeah,
create isolation. Like you have to feel lonely while watching this film. Uh, because it is a lonely film.
yeah,
It feels extremely lonely. Uh, but so that's why like and a lot of the like I still don't know what his dad looks like. Like having watched the fucking film, he's so out of like focus and shit. He has a beard, like
yeah,
and stuff like that, and all of that is by design to create a very oppressive feeling of loneliness, and
yeah.
very effective as well.
Because
But
at one point in
yeah,
the film, I think his mum, because obviously at this point he's jumped. Like he went from 1997, and then it did a jump, and then it did another jump 10 years later. In
yeah,
that middle jump, I think at this point his mom was diagnosed with cancer, I think, or terminal
yeah. It seems like
illness.
cancer, right?
Yeah,
Did he ever say it? I don't remember if they say
I
it.
don't think so. I don't think it was said.
Oh.
I
But it's
think it
like
was,
she has like a scarf around her
yeah.
head, and like
So I
she's
think it was
clearly,
like implied that she might have had cancer.
yeah,
He's dealing with the loss of his mum, all the while struggling with his own identity. And then it fast forwards to 10 years. He's obviously looking after his dad because
yeah,
his dad isn't very well, and then his dad dies, and then it does a kind of mini jump again to
yeah,
where he looks really old,
yeah.
and it's like,
I think to say like 20 years later at some point as well.
yeah, something like
Because
that.
it's like yeah, because time is racing by
Yeah,
and he constantly breathes heavier and heavier because like he's
yeah. What did
well
you what did,
she's
yeah?
suffocating.
What did you think of the scene in the bathroom where he stands in front of the mirror
Oh wait,
and
yeah, oh yeah, that was absolutely fucking phenomenal. Going through your skin, seeing the reality behind, like yeah, like taking that to a whole new point, also making it like he sees the TV glow because that's what it is. It's TV
yeah,
static. Uh, and like exactly what it means, I don't know, but it's definitely it's poignant. And it's like, yeah, it's to me like him seeing either the real or the even more imaginary there. But like that's why I think that people see it as a hopeful ending.
Yeah.
Like I've seen people see it as purely hopeful ending, and like, I don't know what the fuck film they watched because I was fucking crying by the end.
Yeah.
Uh, but um, but I do think that's because of that scene. And what crushes it for me is him then going outside and like apologizing for what just happened.
Yeah.
And then it ends. And it just leaves me feeling extremely sad for for him. But it also like we need that as well. Like this idea that uh every story about a minority needs to be like uplifting or needs to be like positive because like it needs to end like either it can be about long ago like 12 years a slave or something or it can never be about like shit being on being shit forever because
Yeah.
we need to make people hopeful. We don't want to tell people that it's bad to be trans, but like that's not what we're telling them. We're telling them it's fucking hard, and sometimes it
Yeah.
fucking is hard. And
Yeah. It
like
is.
that's an
Yeah.
important thing. And mainly this feels extremely personal. Like this feels like I get that she's taken a lot from her own like experiences
Yeah.
because that feels like it. Like it's very, very intimate. It's very like it's clearly someone's personal story. And then I think it's very, very fucking pretty fucked up actually to go in and like start editing that and saying that it's too depressing. Because I've seen some like resistance against it, and like yeah, to me it's not a hopeful ending, but I'm glad that some people see it like that. Just don't go in and edit the fact that it's. But yeah, I
Yeah.
think that's because of like that scene, and I love it because that's the one confirmation we get, and I do view that as like the film actually telling us, yeah, this is all real.
Yeah.
Um, And that's the one thing that like, okay, but this clearly breaks like because otherwise nothing actually breaks the laws of reality. It's everything can be explained away except for that moment.
Yeah. Yeah, I completely agree. Because when I saw that, because I don't think I've ever seen that. I may have seen another form of that. When I saw, obviously,
Yeah,
I'll use the TV glow, the soul, if you will. Um,
yeah,
the only other place I've ever seen maybe that mechanic used, but obviously
yeah,
this had a different meaning, was probably in the film The Abyss, where I've seen that translucent, effervescent glow before, but
yeah,
this like I highly recommend like
yeah,
go watch it because even if you don't take away what we've said, that's totally fine. But go and see it.
yeah. Like make up your own. I make up
Yeah,
your own interpretation of it. But do watch it and fucking like buy it. Like I want it to
yeah,
come out on Blu-ray so I can buy it now. Because like I want to own this film. It's fucking phenomenal. Uh, and also I want to like give Jane. Jesus fucking Christ! I need to learn. I need to start studying how people's names are pronounced before I start recording this fucking podcast. But like, I want to give her money to do more of this, and I want to do like more of this. Like this was great. I also loved the real version of the Pink Opaque
yeah,
when he's when he was rewatching it, and it's like just complete and utter fucking garbage.
yeah. Yeah, it was. Yeah,
You
I
can
mean,
sell soup in the winter.
yeah, like instead of ice cream,
Sell soup.
start selling soup. Like,
And there's fucking ice cream and then
yeah,
it's like yeah, that was beautiful.
yeah, it
Um
was. Yeah,
Also like the one time I just laughed outright during the
yeah,
film because everything else that should have been funny was just fucking depressing.
yeah, it was. But
Uh
I also liked
I love how I like both of the like shit that I've done that I've brought to this uh has been like on the polar opposites of the like happiness scale. Like says it'll
yeah,
be the most that extremely uplifting, funny as fuck, weird little
yeah,
art film, and then we have like this shit.
yeah. But it's like, but that's the running theme. That's one of the running themes throughout this film is
Yeah,
melancholy. You know,
yeah.
so
Like there's a reason that's the
yeah,
bad guy.
yeah. It's
Like
like
that's what I mean when I say like I don't know what you see in this if you don't see it as an analogy. Like if you don't see it as a metaphor, I genuinely don't fucking understand.
yeah. This is why I don't. This is why whenever a critic comes out who reviews this film, that's why I never take them seriously because it's like they're
No,
almost watching something completely different.
yeah,
It's like
and like critics are also like I have one way that critics can be used, and that's if you have a one critic that you read and you know their opinions, then you can use that opinion as a gauge. Like, will I like this? Because I usually like when he recommends this sort of film and like that.
yeah,
In that way, critics can be extremely fucking useful as a method of knowing if something is good. Nothing is useful except for your fucking eyes and your brain.
yeah,
Like, like you need to decide that shit for yourself. Stop being a coward.
yeah. Which they clearly don't use.
Yeah,
Anyway,
no.
um, I also like there's a particular scene where Owen and Maddie meet up at I think it's a bar.
Yeah,
Um, and then that haunting haunting song appears.
yeah,
Like that really set the scene for me with that song.
yeah. It's
I
it's
mean,
really cool. Everything seems kind of like out of. You get no geography of this stuff, really. Like it's a weird like exists in nowhere sort of thing. I love the fact that she says she leaves to God. I don't remember where she leaves to, but she leaves like the state and goes to another state, and then she describes that by saying the trees were different, but otherwise it was the same,
yeah,
which is such a good fucking description.
yeah, that song that I'm talking about, it was
Yeah.
sung performed by Caroline Polachek, Sloppy Jane, Phoebe Bridgers, and Christina Espagnoli, the florist,
Oh, really
and
British. I don't know.
Yule. Uh, there were 15 tracks included.
Yeah.
But yeah, that song was haunting, and really
Yeah, well,
captivating.
yeah, it really was. That entire scene is fucking phenomenal.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, please do support this kind of, and like I am like I'm begging people to please support this kind of shit because like that's how we get more cool movies. Like that's how we stop getting like fucking Marvel slop. That's how we
yeah,
get like this sort of shit needs to be supported. This is why filmmaking is important as an art form. This is what makes it good. This is what
yeah.
makes film such a unique and weird medium.
This film,
Um,
I will. I don't know if you agree, but I class this film. This film isn't mainstream, and what I mean by mainstream
oh no, it's not.
what is right by when you think of other films. this is an indie film that
Yeah.
represents the trans community. It
Oh
represents
yeah, absolutely.
what they go through. Like that's what I'll
Yeah,
class it as. So if you want an indie film,
yeah,
I know they're like in the month of Halloween, like a spooky season, but
yeah,
have this in your list. Have
yeah.
it in
And
your
like it is a horror film. Like it
well,
is.
yeah,
It's
horror like
branded as one.
horror.
Yeah, you're not going to
It
find it
isn't really,
scary,
but
but you're going to find it fucking existentially
yeah,
frightening.
yeah.
Like,
Um,
um,
but yeah, you know.
yeah,
So
that's I've exhausted my
yeah,
things I have to say about it. I think I will be uh yeah.
yeah.
And like
I'll
you're talking like indie film, mainstream films, you're probably never going to get like a recommendation of a mainstream film from
no.
me. Like if we're doing this, maybe an old one or something, but
The last, the,
not because of it's being shit.
yeah,
Like it's I don't like the way that mainstream deals with these kind of topics that we're talking about on this podcast, and like
yeah,
because I think it does it like pandering at best. Uh, adding like a kissing scene but in Lightyear, which is then fucking dumb, that makes them not want to do fucking Riley gay.
yeah.
Uh,
The last,
Pixar are fucking cowards. I remember when they were a good thing. You fucking
yeah,
pissants.
yeah. The last mainstream film I saw was I went to see the recent Planet of the Apes film,
Yeah,
and
those are cool.
since then I've watched indie films like obviously I watched
Yeah,
I watched Cecil B. Demented. Again, that's not
yeah.
again that's not a mainstream. That's an indie.
Oh yeah,
Or,
no,
or
that's definitely an indie film.
yeah,
It
or
basically tells us to burn the mainstream down to the ground. So
yeah. Which I enjoyed. This one I enjoyed. Both of
yeah,
them are gonna be on my continued watch list.
yeah.
Um,
And I'm going to say like this is my favorite film of the year. Like
yeah,
this is my the best film I've seen all year.
yeah. I will be recommending this film immediately to
Yeah,
my friends to watch.
yeah.
So yeah, that was
Um,
our review of I Saw the TV Glow. Um, and yeah, obviously next week we'll be discussing more topics, and then the week after
yeah,
that, um,
we'll find another culture thing.
yeah, um,
Also, I want to say I'm I was so fucking entertained this Monday that I'm doing that with anyone who wants to. Like, just come fight me, bro. Debate me, bro. That's my new fucking state. I get debate bros now. That was shit fun.
yeah. Oh, don't worry, we will have more of those lined up. Um,
Yeah.
you know, but yeah, um, there's um, there's a book I wanted to get. I'd like you to get a hold of, but what I'll
Yeah,
do is I'll tell you off air through DM.
yeah, yeah,
Um, but yeah, that's it. Um, please do us a favor. You will not be disappointed. Do watch it.
yeah,
If you have a local theatre near you and where it's been where you can see it, then do yourself a favor. If not, you can watch it through Max and other streaming platforms.
yeah,
Uh, but yeah, um,
yeah.
I'd love to
Uh,
see this film on Shudder, but I know that everyone can't get Shudder for some reason. Now, why
yeah,
Shudder
no,
isn't available in Sweden blows my mind. But anyway,
no, because like
uh,
it living in Sweden is like living in like a place that gets half of the rest of the world. It's weird. We're extremely like on the forefront of certain things, and then it's just like, oh, but like you like films, fuck you.
yeah, Yeah. But anyway, less said about that the better. But yeah, that would
Yeah.
be it for tonight
Yeah.
episode. Um, as always, I hope you enjoy your weekend. Stay safe, and again, if you do decide to do narcotics, stay safe.
And if you decide to bury yourself alive, just make sure that you're living in a dream world created by Mr. Melancholy first.
Yeah. But yeah, we will see you on next week's episode.
Bye.
Bye. Right, let me stop that.
Oh.